Hey, how's it going, William? My name is Jack here with Mr. and Mrs. Leeds. I am one of the SEO consultants here. We are a online marketing, SEO, and website design company, and I believe that you should have gotten your custom website analysis through the tool, and if you haven't gotten that site audit, please let me know, and we'll be sure to make sure that it goes out your way. That basically outlines exactly where your website is at in terms of SEO and what you need to do to improve on it. Now, I did have some time here at the office, so I wanted to follow up and go ahead and do this follow-up video analysis for you and basically go over exactly what I can see as a search marketer in terms of where your website is at and how we would be able to help you out if we were to tackle this project on together. All right, so without further ado, let me go ahead and get started. I did take a look at your website. I think it's laid out very nicely, and everything that you have on here relates to exactly what you're trying to portray to both Google's engine as well as your people that visit the site and what you're looking for them to do. Good job there to learn more and everything else. I would actually recommend having, instead of these three, I would actually have one more row of things that you could add on here that kind of links back to either the blog or like a specific page that explains a little bit more about a question that someone might have with aphasia. All right, so let me go ahead and actually hop over to our tool here. Our tool, this is called Ahrefs. It allows search marketers like myself to look at some of the metrics behind a website and actually look at where your website is in terms of SEO. And so what I can see is that the great news is that the site has been in existence for a very long time, so since 2013. So not like a very, very long time, but 5 years is a solid amount of time for a site to be in existence, and it's a very good thing because Google does take into account how old your site is to basically determine your rankings. And so if your site's very new, it's going to have a lot harder time ranking than if a site is a lot older or that has been in existence for a longer time than like it has been in this situation. All right, so the other thing that I can see is that there has been minimal SEO work done to the site. The reason I can see that is because right here, you see the spike in referring domains from February 19th to 2013, February of 2013. Ever since then, the number of referring domains have kind of just stagnated, and so just kind of been meandering at the same spot. And basically this right here where my mouse is hovering, the referring domain, is a very important part of basically determining how authoritative and trustworthy your site is deemed in Google's eyes. And trustworthiness and authority has a huge determining role in basically determining why your website should rank higher than another website for the various keywords that we want to go after. And so what we need to do is we need to get more referring domains, and we need to have like a curve where it's sloping upwards steadily so that Google can see that you're steadily getting more and more authority to the site and more trustworthiness, and that's steadily going to get you moving higher and higher in the SERPs and the rankings for the various keywords that we want to go after. The reason why this is so important is because in Google's eyes, essentially what a referring domain is, it's any website out there on the internet that links back to your website by a hyperlink. So if there's a blog, for example, that's called the aphasiablog.com, and they make a new blog post and they say, hey, if you're looking for online treatment or variation of that, check out www.aphasiatoolbox.com, and then there'll be a link that links back to your website. And so anytime another website links back to your website gets credit for it, because in Google's eyes, it's showing them that you're the kind of website that other websites deem trustworthy because they're linking back to your site, and you're the kind of website that other websites are talking about and referring their own visitors to because they're like, hey, check out this website, check out this business, right? And so in Google's eyes, when you have a lot of these websites, a lot of these referring domains linking back, which is called a backlink, linking back to your site, it shows Google over and over again that you're a trustworthy site and you're an authoritative site. And so as you continually get more and more authority and trust to your site, then Google's going to have no choice but to get you ranked, outrank your competitors for the various keywords that we want to go after. All right. So let me hop over to the organic keywords tab. This basically shows us exactly what kind of keywords you currently rank for, as well as the metrics behind those keywords. And so you'll see right here that you currently rank for aphasia toolbox, and that is your #1 spot, which is fantastic because that is obviously your brand name, and you absolutely want to make sure that you rank for that keyword. The other thing that I do want to mention is that you have a lot of keywords that you're getting picked up by Google. So basically Google understands that the site has to deal with aphasia, which is fantastic. Now what we need to do is make sure that we start getting all these keywords. So basically if it says it's on the 27th spot, it means that you are at the bottom of the 3rd page. And so we need to make sure that you are as close to the 1st page as possible, or ideally at the top of the 1st page for all these different keywords. And so we do have some work cut out for us. But the good news is that you are currently getting found for these kinds of keywords, which means that Google can understand and recognize that this has to deal with aphasia, and they are giving you credit for it. So what I did real quick was I actually typed in aphasia to our Keywords Explorer tool. Basically, it kind of pulls up other kinds of keywords that people are typing into that has to deal with the keyword aphasia, as well as some of the metrics behind those keywords. And so you'll see there's a lot of people searching up for aphasia, Broca's aphasia, aphasia definition, Wernicke's aphasia. So a lot of different kinds of aphasia is kind of what people are searching into. And since your site, what your goal is to get as many, you want to be found as the authority that has to deal with anything that has to deal with aphasia, right? And so when people have questions about aphasia, if they want to ask questions about it, they can reach out to you. They can sign up for a newsletter. They can follow your blog. And so you basically want to be a portal for anyone that has questions about aphasia to be able to be directed to your site. And so what I would recommend doing is, if we were to tackle this project on together, here's what I would recommend doing. We would have to basically do our keyword research and go after the most optimal keyword set that has to deal with your service and that actually gets search volume. So we're taking this scientifically and data driven. So we make sure we do our research, actually pull up our tools that show us exactly how many people are actually searching this kind of phrase, to look at how hard it is to rank for that keyword and make sure that we grab the most optimal keyword set that's going to make sense to growing your business and your company and getting more and more visitors to your site. And so essentially, like, let's say that we wanted to go after primary progressive aphasia. And so what we want to do is we actually want to build out a specific blog post or an inner page that has this kind of keyword in your content, and then talk about that. And then that page right there is going to be actually the one that ranks for this keyword, primary progressive aphasia. And so we go down this list, and we don't want to overload ourselves and try and go after 100 keywords, but I think 10 is definitely manageable. And so we'd find the most 10 optimal keywords that probably a few of them are going to be low-hanging fruit, where it's where we can quickly rank for that and get you found on the top of the 1st page for it, because you can quickly start getting more traffic to your site and hopefully get more people signing up for the newsletter and reaching out and that kind of thing. And then from there we can also target some of the more harder keywords that have a lot more difficulty, like expressive aphasia and Broca's aphasia and aphasia definition, that kind of thing. So the good news is that there's a ton of different ways that people are typing in this kind of thing, and people want some information, like apraxia versus aphasia, transcortical aphasia, development aphasia. And all these things have a decent amount of search volume, and they have low competition. And so these are definitely things that we can rank you. And once we start building that authority to your site, you're going to see a huge amount of visitors and traffic that start hitting your site and then translate into all the different things that you are looking for them to do. All right. And so that's kind of the way that we would go about doing it. There's a lot more to SEO than kind of what I talked about, but hopefully at the very least you got some insight as to how we operate here at Mr. and Mrs. Leads, how we'd be able to help you in terms of SEO, and how and what you need to do to start getting found a lot more and build your presence online, especially in Google, because that's how everyone's well, most people are finding all the different websites that are out there, right? Yeah, so like I said, I like the website, the Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. So you have all that. You have your office hours. So if there's anyone that's local in the area that can come find you, and newsletter, blog, and customer reviews and all that. So it all makes sense. It all looks great. Now, if you don't serve a national presence and you're looking to only capture like your Pennsylvania location, Pittsburgh location, then that's definitely something that we can do. And obviously, it would be a lot easier for us to do because you're not going after national keywords where you're competing with websites across the nation. You're only competing with websites that are specifically located in Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania, really. All right, so appreciate it, and really would love to hear back from you if you are interested in this kind of work. I'm definitely from looking at what I can see, it's very possible for us to get you ranked. I'm very confident about us being able to get this done for you and get you a lot more visitors to your site. All right, thank you.